Welcome, welcome. I'm Tammy Hodges. I am with Polka Dot Wreath Company. I'm also one of the creative coaches for Deco Exchange. And I wanted to make a couple of wreath bows with you guys. Okay, so what you have to do first is, this is how I do it. Okay, I don't measure exact. So I measure out 7-inch tails. Okay, so that part I do measure 7 to 8-inch tails, right? So you're going to pinch it. You're going to immediately twist it so you have your non-printed side. And then I'm going to give this 8-inch loops. 8-inch loops. I'm then going to pinch it again. See what that did? I'm going to pinch it again. So if I were to cut it right now, it would look like an awareness ribbon, right? Pinch it, immediately twist it, and then loop it back over. Okay, so I kind of eyeball that to see if it's exact, and it is. And now I don't always measure those 7-inch tails. I make sure they are 7 inches at the very end, but I kind of keep them a little bit longer. Now here's the part that I'm going to show you that I do a little bit differently. I lay out my chenille stem just like that. I have it pinched together right here. I go ahead, take my middle finger, I put it in there. You put it pretty tight and you twist it 3 times at least. You need that first cinch to where you're stacking these to be pretty good. Go ahead and cut that. Okay, now this is what I'm going to show you. This is the easiest way to remember this for me. So your loops are here, your loops are here, your tails are here. They form a cross, okay? I like to remember where I'm going to lay things by taking my chenille stems and just hooking them on to the back of this temporarily. That helps me know where to go the next time. Okay, so I'm going to take it. I am going to measure my 7-inch tails. Remember, I always do that part. Pinch, loop, twist. Now, I am not a measurer. Y'all know that about me. I like to just eyeball it. So I just come down here and I say, oh, that's about 1 inch shorter. So I'm going to go about a 1/2 inch shorter. Okay. I just make sure it's not the same size because you want that pop-up effect where it's larger, next, and it gets smaller as it goes to the top. You want that effect. Pinch, twist, loop, just like we do always with a bow. Make sure your bunny ears are equal. These are not equal. I need to pull this out a little bit. Okay. Make it equal. Okay. So where my loops were before, I'm not going to put my loops right back over it. I turn mine. See how the chenille stem is? That's why I did it like that. I pull it off of there. It just helps me to remember it, y'all. That's the only reason I do that. I twist it. Now, my tails go where the loops were before. So now it's loop, tail. So as you're doing this, it's going to be loop, tail, loop, tail. Now, here's your chenille stem, right? I'm going to put it where my last loop was. Not my tail, but my loop. It helps me to remember which way to turn it. So now I'm going to use a 2.5 inch. You don't have to do this. There's no rhyme or reason. Okay, so again, 7-inch tail. Pinch, pinch, twist, loop. And go to that loop, see if it's smaller, and in fact it is. It's about a 1/2 inch smaller. Perfecto. Pinch, twist, loop. Just like that. This one seems a little bit bigger. It's not. It just looked it. And again, I don't measure that last tail. I just cut it a little bit longer because I know I'm going to cut it shorter. Okay, so here's my loops. So I'm going to turn that bow, keep a hold of that. Where the tail is now is where the loops are going to be next. Now do you see why I use that Chanel stem? It helps me to remember, y'all. I'm getting older. I can't remember. And it just makes it more exact. Okay. So, and then while I'm on this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Just like that. Looks like a hot mess right now, but know this. The tail goes where the old loops are. The loops go where the old tails are. So now you can just hang that like that. I just do this part to keep me sane because I forget. So now, do you see what it is? It's, so far we have tail, loop, tail, loop, tail, loop, or loop, tail, loop, tail, loop, tail, loop, tail, loop. 7-inch loops. Again, pinch, loop, twist. It does make more sense, Linda, to me. I am one of those learners that I have to see it be done and make my own methods. Okay, so pinch, twist, loop. So I always try to find little shortcuts to help jog my memory because I've never had a great memory. So again, just make sure it's a little bit of a smidge shorter. Now we're going to turn this. And wherever the white is, it's going to form the X when I do this. Go ahead and cut that. Okay, now we have a loop there, so we don't want the tails there. So the tails are going to go where the loops used to be. The loops are going to go where the tails were. And now we have a cross again. And guess what? The white is going to go where the loops are always. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. So go over here where the last loop was. Make sure that loop is just a little smidge smaller. I make bows like I cook, which means I don't measure. I measure the tails at 7 inches and I start my loops at 8 inches, and after that it's just a crapshoot. But it looks good. So let me dovetail this one, and then we're going to do the last one, and then we're going to pop this little baby up, and I'm going to show you the wow factor in this bow. So pinch it, twist it, loop it. Now this loop is going to be the smallest loop of all. So it's going to be about 3 inches maybe. Nope, it's about 5 inches. So see, I'm not following the exact measurements. And listen, if you want to do more than 6, we can keep on going all day long. So there's my cross tie right here. All right, so that's our last loop. But I'm going to tell you, I kind of want a smaller loop on the very, very top. So I'm going to go rogue and do 7. And I'm going to do it with this little polka dot right here. Okay, so this is what your bow is going to look like. And yes, I flatten it before as I go. It's just easier for me to do that. So you're going to have this tie right on top. You must have that tie back behind. So see how that naturally forms an X? Take that tie, and this is where Damon cringes because we always smash our bow. He'll get over it, friends. He'll get over it. And this is one of the most important parts of a Terri bow. You've got to make sure that is really tight because that's what's going to allow those bows and those ribbons to pop up. I like to start, this is what it starts out looking like. Now watch what happens. It's so pretty. So I am just going on the left side. I lay it down and I talk real sweet to it, kind of like whenever you baste your turkey. You better talk real sweet to it. Okay, and I just go in there and I pop up these loops. And if some of your tails are longer, So I start at the bottom. It just makes more sense. And then I pull them apart, talk sweet to them. Move your tails in between the loops. That always looks pretty. That's why I don't cut any of my tails any shorter than 7 or 8 inches until I'm done with the entire bow and where I'm going to put it. Sometimes not even until I get it on the wreath, to be honest with you. Because sometimes they need the longer tails. I added a 7th loop. You can do that. I just wanted a little bit more polka dot in there. Totally okay. So now, look at this gorgeous bow that we have. Just because we did layers. That's all we did. We did layers and it made a beautiful bow.